Today, in the media conference with Lal Goel, which is brought to you by V4 News, Karu News, V4 Stream, Malnadu TV India, News Gaon Se, Samvad Sarokar News, Bharat Post News, Gyan, and Organ Donation India Foundation. Our endeavor is to enlighten you with the current topic, and today's topic is not only current but relevant for each and every person in the world. But before I will go on our main topic, I would like to inform you that today world is observing the International Day of Families. The International Day of Families is observed on 15th May every year. The day was proclaimed by the United Nations General Assembly in 1993 with resolutions and reflects the grim importance the international community attached to families. The International Day provides an opportunity to promote awareness of issues relating to families and to increase knowledge of the social, economic, and demographic processes affecting families. The major goal of honoring International Day of Families is to raise awareness of the importance and value of family. It is also vital to draw attention to the difficulties that impact families all around the world. This day also shows that the global community recognizes the importance of families as primary social units and expresses concern about global issues. This year, United Nations Secretary General has decided on the Families and Urbanization theme for the International Day of Families 2022. Media conference with Lal Goel wishes you all on this very happy day and hopes that by observing this day, more and more awareness will be created about the importance and value of family. Now, coming to our main topic today, the topic is siblings, love-hate relationship. A sibling is a relative that shares at least one parent with the subject. A male sibling is a brother and a female sibling is a sister. A person with no siblings is an only child. While some circumstances can cause siblings to be raised separately, such as foster care, most societies have siblings grow up together. This causes the development of strong emotional bonds, with siblinghood considered a unique type of relationship unto itself. The emotional bond between siblings is often complicated and is influenced by factors such as parental treatment, birth order, personality, and personal experiences outside the family. Having a sibling often means innumerable fights, getting into trouble for no fault of your own. I did not do it, my brother did, and missing chocolates. But what goes ignored is the love and care the siblings share. On Raksha Bandhan, the story of a brother-sister duo makes hearts melt because that is what siblings look like. Jealousy, attention-seeking tactics, competitive spirit, personality clashes, or cold wars. If you had a sibling at home, it would have been totally normal to have grown up with these mini battles during your childhood. While there are some siblings who are each other's best friends, most of them tend to describe their relationship with their brothers and or sisters as rivalrous or distant. But sometimes the conflict can make for amusing incidents and hilarious episode at home. Now, to discuss this very, very important and very pertinent topic today, because today we are celebrating the day for the family day. So the siblings love-hate relationship suits because families generally consist of the father, mother, and children. And once the children are there, it means siblings are there. Now, and we have very elite, very knowledgeable experience, and almost everyone, those have siblings, they have their experiences of their childhood, how they have fought with each other. So all panelists are with us. So I would like to invite my first panelist guest, and she is Miss Karishma Chhatpati. Miss Karishma Chhatpati is the inner transformation coach. She is the founder of the Being Spiritual with KUC. She is knowledge partner of Fitsa Private Limited, Mumbai. She started out as a journalist, then progressed to an editorial desk job, and on the side, she completed her master's in psychotherapy and counseling and master's in psychology. For 8 years, she doubled, rather tripled up as an editor, freelance writer, and corporate coach and psychotherapist. Then in 2008, she switched completely to coaching, psychotherapy, and counseling, used a myriad of modalities to help her clients. Her head was filled with knowledge of tarot, angel card reading, Hindu rites and rituals from a spiritual perspective, crystal healing, Reiki, guided meditations, mindfulness, hypnotherapy, astrology, rune casting, crystal ball gauging, art therapy, handwriting and signature analysis, candle meditation, etc., etc. I don't know any other this art is left in this particular field. Being spiritual with KUC, she crested community. Her every blog post comes from a space of deeper understanding, wisdom brought about by the awareness that comes through experience of the lessons learned. Welcome, Ms. Karishma Chhatrapati on our show. Ms. Karishma Chhatrapati, although this topic is for everyone, but because you are a psychologist and you have seen many of your clients, many cases where the people become psychiatric, they require the help of psychologists because of the tensions among the siblings, which is very, very common due to either in their childhood, they have a preferential or not that preferential treatment from their parents, or even when they become adult because of the property disputes or financial things and whatnot. So we would like to know your views on siblings love-hate relationship. Ms. Karishma Chhatrapati, please.
Thank you so much, Mr. Goel. A very good morning to you and to all the panelists today on the platform with me. It's a beautiful topic. Before I go into that, a very, very happy family day to everyone who's watching us. I hope you all thrive as a family together. You all find the love and the graciousness to collaborate as a family rather than compete and compare as a family. And this is exactly where my conversation is going to go today. Is the issue with sibling rivalry is the need to have to compare to compete. It is taught to us at a very, very young nascent stage. And this is not just something that we can look at, as a modern day issue that we're dealing with where sibling rivalry is concerned. This is something that has been inbuilt historically by the entire thing of the eldest son, the eldest child, the inheritance of the property going only to the eldest and he's in control or she's in control. So the entire placement of the eldest child and going down to the younger child, we are embedding the competitiveness and comparison. Now, this is something that we need to work around, but I'm not going to put that into today's conversation. What I want to point out is how families can actually help mend and heal siblings to collaborate together as they grow up and not compete and compare with each other. That is so important. I myself, I'm an elder sibling to a younger sister, and I always term our relationship as Tom and Jerry. Can do without, but yet can never do without. Why? Because as much as we have argued and we have scratched each other and we have fought each other, we yet know that against this world outside, we both will stand for each other. But that's the hard part, right? Because we create so many situations amongst our siblings where we make each other cry, we will argue, we will want to prove each other wrong, we will want to prove ourselves right, because that's the battle of the fittest, right? Isn't that a part of sociological development too? The battle of the fittest. But is that really necessary? Is fighting for property really necessary when we can have enough to eat and share? Do we really need to break down the walls and say that this much more has to belong to me and this much less has to come to you because you were the child who did nothing for my parents and I sacrificed everything for them, or I was loved more and you were hated more? Is that reality? No. Parents brought us up comparing, not realizing that this would become the cause of rivalry, but thinking that this would make the other child better. Why not be like your eldest sibling? See how responsible your elder sibling is. And the younger one always feels so irresponsible. So what happens? The elder one is burdened by responsibilities, and the younger one is just enjoying the fact that, okay, I'm irresponsible, I have to do nothing. Is that actually is a responsibility of growing up with the siblings itself, or is it not with the parents and the other people involved in bringing them up? So bringing up a child, and interestingly, in the textbooks of psychology, siblings is a very important chapter where researches are done on the difference between bringing up the elder child, the younger child, and even the middle child. So while you may have two siblings, the bigger challenge is when you have a third sibling in the middle. And why? Because that child doesn't know where to belong because the youngest is pampered, the eldest has responsibility. Where do I belong in this as a middle child? Important. Every family should take responsibility to understand that the family is the first place to learn community, collaboration, belongingness, cooperation, not tolerance, not competition of who is better, and not comparison of who can do better. Every child is born with their own IQ level, their own ability to find their way through life, through solving problems, through their intelligence. So just because one child of yours is a high ranker in school, it doesn't mean that the other child needs to rank high. Maybe the other child can be a phenomenal artist. Recognize the strengths of every child that you have in the home and play to the tunes of that. Better manners, better behavior does not come out of comparison, because what you're creating is antagonism. You're creating a battle. Sharing is caring, but not snatching. If the younger child believes that it is their right to snatch everything because they're the younger child, then teach them that sharing is caring. And the same with the elder sibling. We can make this world a better place if one family at a time we realize our role in building communities through collaborative effort, even with siblings. Enjoy the Tom and Jerry-ness of being siblings. But you know what? Enjoy the sharing is caring and make this world a better place through the beginning of families. That is what I wanted to bring into this room today. Thank you so much, Mr. Goel, and thank you all. I'm looking forward to hearing you all.
Thank you very much, Ms. Karishma Chatpati, for giving your views, sharing and caring. And what Ms. Karishma says, that the elder sibling or the younger sibling, they always have the difference because of their upbringing. But she mentioned about the third one. If there are three siblings, then what will be the role of the middle one? She mentioned, but she has not mentioned if there are four, then what will be the role of the third one? Because at one time, third was enjoying the most pampered status. But once the fourth child comes, the third is nowhere. So that is also, so there are so many combinations and permutations. There are even more than four, we have know that. But her thing is that the upbringing has to be in such a way that no child should be giving extra preference on the other child. Otherwise, the child will have some complexes which can be in future become a psychological problem or otherwise. And she strongly believes that the siblings should not fight for the property. There are so many things to do. Why they are fighting for those things unnecessarily? Thank you very much, Ms. Karishma Chatpati, for giving your views. Now, I would like to invite my next panelist guest, and she is Ms. Devpriya Uksa. Ms. Devpriya is MBA in HR and Marketing. She is a renowned social worker of Jhansi. Since last 2 decades, she has devoted herself to work for the cause of uplifting the living conditions and education standard of the underprivileged section of the society living in slums and rural areas. She is running 3 centers for these children, wherein they get quality education along with focus on good nutrition. She is working for women empowerment by collaborating with other community agencies in helping families in need. She is also running a vocational center for ladies. She won many awards and distinctions like the Best Assistant Governor of Rotary in 2016-17, Sanskar Bharti Award in 2016-17, Virangana Jhansi Award in 2018, and COVID Warrior Award in 2020, and many more. Welcome, Ms. Devpriya Uksa on our show. Ms. Devpriya, you have heard what Ms. Karishma Chhatrapati has mentioned about the siblings. Now, we would like to know your views on siblings love-hate relationship. Ms. Devpriya Uksa, please.
Thank you, Goel ji. Thank you very much. And it's always good to hear my biodata from you. I want to correct one thing. From 3 centers, there are now 5 centers, which I'm running. In
You
COVID,
have not updated your profile, so it's not my mistake.
No problem. And thank you. Thank you for giving me this wonderful opportunity. As Karishma ji was speaking, I was hearing, no doubt we all have siblings, and we all have experienced that Tom and Jerry relationship. Or siblings ki relationship ke maza hi Tom and Jerry wale relationship mein hi aata hai. After getting this topic, the first thought came into my mind. Usi ke saath I would like to start my talk today. Even I have a brother. I have experienced that thing. Agar from coming to my Maika to my sister, I have experienced both the feel of the relationship. When I was in my Maika, I had my brother. I had a relationship of Tom and Jerry. But definitely when siblings are there, whether brothers, sisters, or a brother-sister combination is there, definitely they will fight. And the beauty of that relationship is between the fighting on. Is there, because when we love, we fight, we care for each other. It's a combination of both. But when I became a mother, I delivered a baby, and I have only a single child. I'm missing that thing which my son is not having, a sibling relationship. When he is not having a brother or sister, he can't experience that thing. So it's a beautiful thing. First of all, I would like to advise everybody, they should have 2 children, because if they are not having, which I couldn't deliver a second baby, and I am not able to give that thing to my son or my daughter, is I'm taking away something from them. And the dynamics of this relationship is also keeps on changing with our aging process. Like when I grew up, at a point of time when I lost my father, I realized how important the relationship I had with my brother. Because when I was small, we were just fighting for the small petty things. And it was like, as Karishma ji said, the elder one thinks he is the boss, and the young ones think that she is the benign one who has all the rights, and she or he should get all the things because he or she is the younger one. Like I was the younger one. I had a elder brother. So he was a boss. He kept on bashing me, can I do this or do that? And I was like complaining to my father or my mother, my brother is not listening to me and he's just trying to be overprotective. But loss of my father gave it a different dynamics when I felt there was nobody in the family, nobody in the world to take care for me. He was there, he stood beside me for everything. And it was a mutual relationship which we shared. Like for him, I was there. For me, he was there. My marriage gave a different dynamics when I was in a different family. Again, the things kept changing. I kept on learning. And when I delivered a baby, again, the dynamics changed. Yes, a single child is not a very good decision which we took. Now, when after 18 years of my marriage, I'm realizing definitely a sibling is required in a family to make a family complete. But sibling relationship is not a very new concept. If we go itihas mein bhi agar hum jaye, because I come from a Hindi belt, it's more comfortable for me every time. But if we talk about Ramayana or Mahabharata, even this sibling relationship was there. If we talk about Ramayana, lots of love amongst the brothers. There were 4 brothers. They had a different dynamics to this hate and love relationship. Ramji just left the whole Rajpat because of the love for his brother. One of the mother wanted the other child to get the Rajpat, but Bharat gave it a different dynamics by not sitting on the throne. He was just taking care of the Rajpat, but not sitting, because he cared and respected the other Ramji, because he wanted ki nahi, it's his territory, his Rajpat, he should take care. On the other hand, if we go to Mahabharata, again, the different picture we see, where the fight was just for the piece of land. They were just fighting for the throne only. They were just fighting for the dynasty succession was there. Though the education, though the facilities, though the teachers, though the sanskar was same in each era, but the perception of those things were different. They took it in a different way. They thought it was our territory, we should succeed, and why should other brothers should get the thing. The sibling relationship always deteriorate because of the small things. As Karishma ji said, when the elder or younger difference come, like they are being taught ki you are the younger one, you would be getting a smaller part as compared to the elder one, because he or she has been taking care of us. There the difference comes. If we take both the children, so it's basically what education we are getting in our family, what our parents are teaching. If they are treating both the children or the children, number of children we have, 2 or 3 or 4, doesn't make any difference. If we are taking them on one platform, all are equal and all would be taking care of each parent equally, their responsibilities would be same, there won't be any difference. Like for Karishma ji just said ki sharing and caring, this is the basic mantra. Why don't we give this sibling relationship a new dynamics by teaching them? Why don't we forget those small issues which come in between us? This topic is not very new. It's not a redundant topic. It's the same for years and ages. So it's time for us what we are ready to give to our children. It's our viewpoint. It's our thought process, which will give them a new line of thinking where the relationships could change. Because as we are seeing today's scenario, with too much of gaps are there in the relationship, people have distant, like in earlier times when we used to have joint families where people were attached to each other, used to take care. Suddenly we are parted. We have started living so far. We don't know, like in today's time, what is the family? It's just husband, wife, and the children. Buas, mausis. Relationships are coming to a downfall. So I won't take much of a time, and I hope I have covered the time. I'm not exceeding too much, but as I said, I come from a Hindi belt, so I would like to end with few of my lines. ये रिश्ता है छेड़छाड़ का, ये रिश्ता है छेड़छाड़ का, चिढ़ने का और चिढ़ाने का, शर्तों के पिटारों का, कहीं अनकही बातों का, ये रिश्ता है बचपन की यादों का, ये रिश्ता है प्यार की बगिया में विश्वास के फूल का, जिसकी पंखुड़ियां हर आंसू पी जाती है, जिसकी पंखुड़ियां हर आंसू पी जाती हैं, जिसको देखकर चेहरे पे सिर्फ खुशियां ही रह जाती हैं, जिसकी खुशबू जहन में और जिसकी तस्वीरें यादों में हमेशा कैद रह जाती हैं। तो इस रिश्ते का जो प्यार का है, एक भाई का एक बहन से, एक बहन का दूसरी बहन से, एक भाई का दूसरे भाई से, इस प्यार के रिश्ते को हम सब संजो के रखें, क्योंकि हम ही वो बाग माली हैं, उसके रखवाले हैं जो इन रिश्तों को बनाते हैं। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. Thank you, Goel ji, for giving me this opportunity. Namaskar.
Thank you very much, Ms. Devpriya Uksa, for giving your views. And she has given one new dimension of Tom and Jerry, but she says that if we see two scenarios, one is of Ramayana and one Mahabharata. Ramayana, when she mentioned about Ram and Bharat, but she forgotten to mention about the Lakshman and Shatrughan, and she also forgotten to mention about the life which the wife of Lakshman has faced. But anyway, that is a separate topic which we are going to take soon. But what she says that the upbringing of that family was in such a way that everyone wants to sacrifice for the other brother. That was a sacrifice, one can say. While in Mahabharata, she says that everyone was fighting with each other for a piece of land or for that rule of the kingdom. So she says it all depends, and it is from the very ages old thing, the sibling love-hate relationship. But she feels that one should go and they should all live together peacefully with full of love. After all, they all belongs to one garden only. Thank you very much, Ms. Devpriya Uksa, for giving your views. You can, whenever you are coming to on my show, you can speak freely in Hindi also. We have no problem. Our viewers are everywhere in the world, so they understand Hindi also. So thank you very much, Ms. Uksa. Now I would like to invite my next panelist guest, and she is Advocate Nidhi Banga. Advocate Nidhi Banga is the Central Government Counsel at Supreme Court of India as well as at Delhi High Court, New Delhi. Advocate Nidhi Banga is an advocate registered with Bar Council of Delhi in 2009. She is an MPhil arbitrator with Delhi International Arbitration Center in DHC. She is also a special counsel for Uttarakhand State in Supreme Court and National Green Tribunal. She established NB Law Firm in 2016, primarily dealing with family law cases. Welcome, Advocate Nidhi Banga, on our show. Advocate Nidhi Banga, you have heard our earlier two panelists, Ms. Karishma Chhatrapati as well as Ms. Devpriya Uksa. Now, we would like to know your views on siblings' love-hate relationship. Advocate Nidhi Banga, please.
So, thank you, Mr. Lal Goel, for giving me this opportunity on this occasion of Family Day, International Family Day. I so welcome all the panelists as well. So very in detail, Karishma ji and Devpriya ji have already discussed what siblings relationship is, and I really like Devpriya ji's last Hindi poem on this relationship, describing it completely. A sibling, I would definitely talk about being a lawyer. I would definitely talk about the legal issues. And so one thing I would say is a family dispute starts from the birth in a family. Whenever somebody has taken birth, so there the family dispute may arise anytime, because that's the family. And when we talk about siblings, so nowadays, sibling, one more definition is added, which is of a step brother or a sister, because nowadays there are multiple marriages happening. A lot of divorce rate has increased. So there are different marriages. People are opting for like 2 marriages, 3 marriages even, and they have children from earlier marriages as well. So this concept of step brother or sister or half brother or sister is also arising. So and in most of the cases they are also living together. So that is also having a different impact on children. And so I would say that and the psychologist here would agree that it is majorly on the upbringing, because nowadays if we talk about earlier generations, then parents were mostly struggling with in order to make their means and survival. Nowadays they are quite educated and they spend a lot of time with their children and on increasing the lifestyle and quality. So I think every parent should opt for counseling, that how they should raise their kids. Because what I've seen when I get a lot of cases on brotherly property disputes amongst brothers or amongst a brother or a sister, then I try to find out the root cause, that how this thing developed. So, and there are some issues which they have never discussed with anybody, that and there are some instances which they remember from their childhood. The childhood memories play a very important part in arising of property disputes amongst and it is not only property dispute, it is rather in a very unfortunate way it is happening nowadays. Siblings are fighting to that an extent that they are killing each other. We have seen in very highlighted case of Chadda brothers, Ponti Chadda and Deep Chadda. So that was very unfortunate, and it is not uncommon nowadays. It's happening on a very frequent basis. If not killing each other, then there are fights to that an extent that they both are being booked in IPC laws, and they are in serving in jails, maybe for a quite some time, because courts are lenient towards these disputes, and they always want that these disputes should get settled through mediation or through other. So there are ways, but why these are cropping up? So there has to be a lot of counseling which parents should go through in order to raise them. Because just one instance of ki ye pen mera hai, this pen belongs to me, then converts into this property belongs to me, and then never ending disputes. So I think a lot of counseling and timely legal advice, especially when somebody has made some assets for themselves, then how these assets should be divided amongst their children, maybe 2 children, maybe 3 children, maybe 4, whatever. So one should not die intestate. So I can bring some light on the legal issues which occur, especially in property. There are other disputes, and there are other avenues for females. There is a Domestic Violence Act. So any sister who is facing a lot of harassment, domestic violence through her brother or other sibling, then she can definitely opt for Domestic Violence Act, and she can go to court, and then she would get various remedies. And there are cases where in remedies, like a brother would not enter in the room in the vicinity of in like 20 meters near to her sister's room, or something like that. These courts are passing these orders in order to give protection to female sibling. So then property dispute, if we talk about, then what we have seen is that majorly it is about ego. It is about less legal knowledge that these disputes are occurring, that they are not aware of, and their parents they have just died intestate without leaving. So intestate means without leaving a will. If somebody dies, then how his property, how his assets would be distributed amongst siblings is a very, very big cause of property disputes. So there are intestate succession laws, which is Hindu Succession Act and Indian Succession Act, if we talk about. And there are various personal laws and customary laws as well. Definitely, we would be talking about Hindu Succession Act and Indian Succession Act. So here, the person who has a self-acquired property is free to do anything with the property. Either a male or a female can even gift away the property if they want to, but they have to write it. They have to write their will in a very clear way. So even wills are challenged by siblings. So in 2005, through a Supreme Court judgment, amendment in Hindu Succession Act occurred, wherein even the daughters are given equal share in the property. So even if they are married or single or whatever, so they have an equal right. And earlier it was not the case. So now even they have the equal right. So when any dispute occurs, then even a daughter can become an intervener, or can become a party to a will dispute or to anything. So this joint family concept wherein if we talk about the elder son being most responsible and younger son, but when we talk about Hindu Succession Act, then they have equal rights in the property. Yeah, but it's not like that the young elder one was taking care of the parents, so he would be given more. Aisa kuch nahi hai. But however, if in the will a parent has written something contrary to what the statute is talking about of having equal rights, then that will has to be executed in that manner. Now, how the will is challenged, that will can also be challenged. A person may, other sibling may stood up and say that this will is forged or is written due to some force by some undue influence by the other sibling, or maybe the signatures are forged, or maybe the witnesses are not right. So we can have a different session on how the will should be written. So it's a very important aspect. Even during COVID, I was suggesting all my colleagues and friends and relatives that do write a will. And or maybe if any dispute is there among siblings and the parents are alive, then they can have a written family settlement while they are living, because there are properties which they are giving to their while they are living only. They are distributing the properties while they are alive. So they should have instead of a oral family settlement, even that is sometimes recognized in law in courts, but they should have a written family settlement, and it doesn't take uh, much time. It doesn't take a lot of expenses on lawyers. It doesn't take much legal knowledge. One can just simply write down their wish, and then a will can be registered, and so there is no end to dispute if a person wants to fight. But again, if they are raised responsibly, if they are raised, parents definitely do not love one child more and one child less. For them, all their children are equal. So but since now there is a lot of social exposure, there is a lot of social media exposure is there, so then parents should also, and a lot of if we talk about hormonal changes in kids and while they're growing up, so parents can definitely take care of those aspects and raise them in such a manner that they learn, as Karishma ji and Priya was saying, that they learn to share instead of comparing with each other. So that would be all I would be talking
Thank you very
about.
much, Advocate Banga, for giving your views. And Advocate Banga has given a legal aspect of the siblings thing. And she says, once a child is born, the case is started legally, because some now or afterwards the case has to take place. And she being a advocate, she says so many cases are increasing day by day, and that's why it's a although earlier two panelists mentioned this is a very lovely thing to have siblings, but according to Advocate Banga, the siblings are not that most they're welcome thing, because the cases.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm
No,
not
you are
saying
not
that.
saying, but legally, what you are saying is implicated that one should. But what she says, and she is very, very clear about the will. And I would like to inform you, Advocate Banga, I have done a program on will also, will to be executed mandatorily. Although I am against will, I have not made my will also, because I feel the day I will make the will, it means that the children will feel when, and they will pray for my early death, because they feel now we should have the property as early as possible. So, but anyway, that is my personal views. But yes, and the will also be challenged, and that fight will start. That is also what she says. And she also mentioned that it's better to have a settlement during the lifetime. But we have seen a case of a very famous businessman, Mr. Vijayapat Sanghania, who has given his property and all the shares to his son, who is also a very well-known Gautam Singhania in the business world, corporate world. And now Mr. Vijayapat Singhania is like a pauper, and is staying in a very bad conditions. So when this is the situation, the cases are on, even he has written a book, and the son has filed a case in Bombay High Court to take a stay, although now stay is vacated. So these things are happening. So whether will is to be executed on, that is a separate thing. But what she says is that the parenting has to be in such a way that no child, whether elder or younger, or they should have any preference. And according to her, legally, all the siblings have equal rights, whether son or daughter, or the brother or sister. So thank you very much, Advocate Banga, for giving your views. Now, I would like to invite my next panelist guest, and she is Rotarian Ritika Gupta. Rotarian Ritika Gupta is the CEO of Ma Saraswati Hospital, Mathura. She is a Bachelor in Engineering IT from Pune University and an MBA Finance from ICFAI University, Hyderabad. She worked with HDFC Bank in the credit department. She is working closely with her family educational venture of Gyan Mahavidyalaya and chain of Industrial Training Institutes, ITIs. She is keenly interested in fitness and wellness. She is a firm believer of a sustainable lifestyle with fitness for mind and body. She pursues meditation for calmness of the mind and yoga for the fitness of the body. She recently pursued a professional course in face yoga and have started taking coaching for the same. Welcome, Rotarian Ritika Gupta, on our show. Rotarian Ritika Gupta, you have heard what Ms. Karishma Chhatpati, what Ms. Devipriya Uksa, as well as Advocate Banga has mentioned. And they have given their views very, very clearly. Now we would like to know your views on siblings, love-hate relationship. Rotarian Ritika Gupta, please.
Thank you so much, Mr. Goel, for the introduction, and a very good morning to all my fellow panelists. It was very insightful to hear everyone's views on a simple topic that, I could not really think much on when I came across it for the first time. But it's amazing how, three people spoke and they spoke about all different aspects of it, which, kind of made me forced to think more about it. And, I am giving my views according to my personal experience and from what I heard from my fellow panelists before. So as per me, I am a sibling to two other younger siblings. So I have a younger sister and a younger brother. So I could totally relate with the concept of, having three children. I mean, three children wherein the elder one is the boss, the younger one is the pampered, and the middle one feels lost, wherein they are trying to find their identity. And I also very strongly agree with the role that a parent has to play in the relationship that exists between the siblings. So earlier, I also believe that while we are more informed and more aware right now about things to say to our children and things to avoid saying, because they can have a certain impact in the kind of individual that they turn out to be. But I believe back in the day, that was not really a thing, wherein parents were so particular about what they were saying to their children. The children were growing up very organically, wherein, there was not much thought that was put into raising a child. And though, my parents, I as a person clearly remember that my parents ensured that all three of us were given equal opportunities into a certain thing. So, if probably there was a chance that arose wherein my father could have sent me to a boarding far off, but he kind of refrained from getting into it because he thought that I would have had to send the other two children as well. And instead, I would just prefer to have them all on the same platform rather than, give other chance which probably the other child might not have for some reason or the other. So I do consciously remember a situation like that. And I also think that, it's not like I missed out on any opportunity because of that. Because every individual have a path that they choose for themselves. So all three of our siblings had similar schooling, similar opportunities, and later on all of us chose our individual paths, and I went on to do my master's in certain field, whereas my sister chose another field. So it's during the growing years that I agree that parents should really be conscious about the opportunities that they're offering to each and every child. And it's later on that a child takes the path that they choose, and then they grow in that direction. Along with that, I also have another aspect to it wherein I feel that it's primarily in India, or maybe say the Eastern countries, wherein the siblings have a relationship wherein they feel that they have certain stake in the parental property, which is why, there is that kind of hate that develops in the child once they have, become conscious of the concept of property and wealth and everything. But it's, if we compare to the West, wherein, there is no such concept wherein the parents leave any property to their children. Instead, all of them grow out as individuals who take their own life course after the age of 18 years. So they are individuals on their own in the, in the world, making trying to make a living. So I believe that concept wherein, there is so much hate that develops due to the stake that the siblings feel that they hold in parental property. It's more existent in India, or for that matter the Eastern countries, because I believe this pertains in a lot of Muslim countries as well. But in the West, since the children do not feel that they have any stake or any kind of a right over the parental property, so they turn out to be very individualistic. They are not the people who really have a very, very strong bond. Instead, parents and siblings are just like a concept for them, wherein they feel like a weekly meeting or maybe a monthly meeting is sufficient. But it's only in India that, we consider speaking every day as a concept of being attached. And if you haven't spoken for a few days, your siblings or your mother feels where you were. So that is, again, I feel, a very individualistic concept which is pertaining to our country more than the Western countries. And also, it's only recently that sisters have also been daughters have also been given an equal stake in the parental property, which earlier wasn't there, and it was just among the brothers. So, it's very less. I may be wrong in that, but I may be considering a very narrow set, wherein I say that, it's very few times that sisters have had rivalry in the past with their sisters or brothers for matters related to property, because sisters did not generally, were considered to have any stake in the parental property. And it was majorly brothers who had rivalry between them. I still believe in the concept of sisters before misters, and I think I can just fall back on my sister or my brother just anytime, when I need to talk, or I have any kind of a urgency of demand. I really feel I can always fall back and they always have my back. So that is what I feel about my siblings. And it has definitely been a love-hate relationship even till now. Even when, we are almost, all of us are touching our 30s, we still meet and we have our moments of fighting with each other while we are together. But it is exactly like how, I cannot do without them, and I cannot do without fighting while I am with them. So that is what my take is on the love-hate relationship between siblings. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Rotarian Ritika Gupta, for giving your views. And Rotarian Ritika Gupta says that in India or the Eastern country, the problem of the siblings hate starts because of the right of the property in the ancestral property or the parental property, which is not there or even in Western countries. That's why the siblings have no such type of rivalry or hate relationship while it starts in India. And she says that the parenting has to be in such a way that all the children should be given equality, not only giving some preference to someone, which she has related her own experience about not sending to the boarding because they wanted to keep everyone at their home. Otherwise, everyone has to be sent for boarding. And she says that the love-hate relationship was there and is still there and it will remain. And it is such a relationship which you cannot avoid as among the siblings. So thank you very much, Rotarian Ritika Gupta, for giving your views. Now I would like to invite my last but not the least panelist guest, and she is Miss Brinda Shine. Miss Brinda Shine is URF Asian record holder. She is PhD research scholar. She is an educationist. She is the admission coordinator of Delhi Public School, Kollam. She was awarded GMRAF Women Educationist Award, Teacher Excellence Award, ESN Best Teacher Guide Award, etc. She presented papers on mind mapping, infinite possibilities, ability learning versus artificial learning, man and machines, technical skills, computers, web designing and programming, graphic designing, SOS, science of saving, rivalry against severely comparative study on tuition centers, give women the hammer to break the glass ceiling, unfocused to improve, unfocused to improve focus, farming the first appointed job of mankind. You are worth more than your waistline, etc. She holds certifications in ITA member, foundation level, Cambridge University, INET Plus certified from Competia, Microsoft certified professional. She is member of International Association of Educators and Corporate Trainers. She has vast work experience in India, UAE, and China. She is also managing Chef's Stop group of hotels and resorts. Welcome, Ms. Brinda Shine on our show. Ms. Shine, you have heard our earlier panelists, Ms. Karishma Chhatrapati, Ms. Devpriya Uksa, Advocate Nidhi Banga, as well as Rotarian Ritika Gupta. They have given their views. Now, we would like to know your views, although one thing is a bit alarming, because where you have said that you have mentioned about give the hammer and break the ceiling. That is a bit alarming. I don't know how you will explain in the context of siblings, but we would like to know your views. Siblings love-hate relationship. Ms. Brinda Shine, please.
Lovely morning, sir, and to all the fellow panelists. Sibling is actually a wonderful, it's definitely not a topic where we have less, there are more to it, because this sibling relationship starts from Puranas. So they always instilled the sibling bond. As Ms. Devi Priya said, it was there in Ramayana, Mahabharata, everywhere they started about the sibling. Our culture was always advocating the importance of sibling. That's why in every religion, if you take in Hinduism, we have the Raksha Bandhan, where they showed the bond between a brother and sister. For Muslims, the Eid is the celebration of brotherhood. For Christians, they had the habit of going to the church, and every family used to have a common church where it is a time where the family gets a chance to meet to each other. When they worship, there was also a fellowship that was happening inside the family. So every religion was talking about, or not directly preaching, but then indirectly they were explaining or creating the habit of the importance of sibling in the families. Now we talk about the family about 2, 3. Imagine our forefathers, where my mom has 13 siblings, and my grandfather, I don't know, he had 12 or 13, and they did not have this first, second, third, where the older one used to take care of the younger one. Now with 2, what the parents as such we create is competition and not participation. There is a competition. He's studying very well where you are not doing. He's responsible where you are not. First child is like this. The second one is my first delivery was very complicated. Second one was easy. We as parents, we start talking, or we create that competition on the children, and not the children do not have that on by birth. So where our ancestors, if you see, my mom used to say her mom passed away when she was only 9 years, and it was her sister who took care of her, and they had nearly 14 or 15 years of gap, and she sees her sister as a mother, a second mother. But then over the years, we have become so small. The more educated we became, the less empathize. The empathizing thing has gone down. We are more into materialistic and money minded, that we give less importance to the bonding, or the mingling with people has relatively gone down. The family time has gone down. We have TV time, we have mobile time, we allocate for our job, but we seldom do that for the family. And there was a time when weekends people did work. They were working, be it on farm or on factories. They still they were finding time. The Sundays were meant to be a family time, where now Sunday is like sleeping time and movie time. So we have made the changes over the years and brought down the sense of belongingness. And my personal experience, I should say, I'm the youngest in the family, and there's one thing that the parents do when they get pregnant, not everywhere, but mostly when they get like the first child comes, the parent is very excited because they are becoming a parent for the first time. So there'll be too many stages of pictures and all that happens. And when the younger one comes, definitely the excitement level, after the first child experience, they know that it's not an easy task, it's a complete project work. But then they want another baby, where that excitement level goes down, and there are other responsibilities also, like taking care of the older child. So that kind of thing starts with when the younger child grows up. As in my case, I had a feeling I do not have I don't know how I looked when I was a baby, where I could see albums and albums of my sister. So that's my version of my story. So always I used to say, she was very special, that you gave more importance to my sister. And if you listen to my sister's version of story, she had that, like her love, a part of love was shared for me. So that possessiveness, we had not even 5 years gap, but the gap we felt was like, it's very big, because from her side, she had a feeling that the love, attention and care that she was getting was shared to me. So the problem starts with the parenting. The parents, they do not, they don't do it intentionally, though. For them, it's end of the day their kids, but they do not understand. So I always keep saying that before becoming a parent, they should attend some course and get to know how to balance, even if it is a single child, 2 children or 3. Every child is equal. We say that father is the first hero, mother is our god, but we fail to teach the children that sibling is your first friend. If the parents teach make the habit of the child, like as I should be sharing my things to my sister first, then someone outside. End of the day, she is my blood, or he is my blood. Blood is thicker than the water. But we trust, we share, we believe people outside who are completely not related to us. And why not our own blood, our own sibling? Where does this happen? End of the day, we come from the same womb, the same place where my sibling came out, the world. I come from the same place. So that bond should be more. So such things, a family time should be there. There should be a dinner time, or a few minutes a day where you share everything, if until we get married. And definitely wedding does create a gap, because we might travel to different places, but then ensure to have at least a 1 minute of time every day that anybody can spare. 1 minute a day. And technology is so much advanced that it is not very easy to reach. Where people used to write letters which used to reach after years, why can't it happen now? So such kind of things, I believe, has to be created, and the participation mode has to developed in the children, then the competitive mode. And siblings should treat each other as their friends, and then only as the sibling or the other factors that come into. So that's what I believe. And actually, I was quite touched when this topic came to me, because it's been at least 3 years that I spoke to my sister. She's in Canada. There was some patch that was created by the thrift by my parents, which we could not mend it till day, which we both want to, but the gap is created such that we are still, when I got this topic also, I thought somewhere, Bhagavan is, connecting me. Maybe, this topic came to me that I should also take an initiative to talk to her. We are trying, but they had created the gap so much. It is not material, it is not property. The possessiveness that started at the age of 4, she always has a feeling that my parents have an extra care for me. And I always have a feeling that my parents always reject me. So this has grown over the years, and it has become intense. And I'm at my 40s, and she's also in 40s, but we have that in us, but still we are not able to break it and come out. Maybe I think this panel, I should thank you also. So I thought I should, first in the morning, make an initiative. And, it's really very important. The family and sibling, end of the day, she is mine, my blood. So we came from the same place. And thank you so much, sir. I've become very emotional, and thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you very much, Ms. Vrinda Shine, for giving your heartfelt, I must say, your opinion. And I pray to the God, and I'm sure that after participating, although you are a bit reluctant. I don't know, you were reluctant because of this reason, or you are busy because you said that you have a TV interview, one TV crew is coming. I know you are quite busy. You have to manage on Sunday your resorts and spa, but still you have given time, and I asked you to come for 10-15 minutes, but you are there for the whole program. And I pray to the God that you will be talking to your sister, and the ceiling which you are talking about, the hammer, you must break that ceiling. Then only I will feel that this program served the purpose, even if this difference of opinion or whatsoever the difference among you is been and you will be both come together. Thank you very much, Ms. Binda Shine, for giving. And one point which I would like to raise, which she has mentioned very clearly, this sibling relationship is everywhere in all the religions. One should not think of one religion or second religion. All the religions, they have the same relationships, and they want that those siblings love and hate, and this relationship will always remain like this. So thank you very much, Ms. Brinda Shine. And now I would like to go for my next round, which I have to act as a devil's advocate. So please don't mind it. Don't think that I am against siblings or I am for siblings, but this is my duty to ask some difficult questions. So my first question goes to Miss Karishma Chhatrapati. Miss Karishma Chhatrapati, why blame siblings, blame parents? And being a psychologist, why not ask all the parents, once, like Advocate Banga says, that once the child is born, the case is started. Why not counsel the parents before they go for the thinking even for the child? Because after all, they are bringing the child on this earth, and they are bringing the sibling on this earth. They are forgetting one thing, that they are creating problem for their lives. So my question to you is very clear. Either one should not go for siblings. If they are going for siblings, the proper counseling should be given to the parents, because every one of our panelists has mentioned about parenting. So I think it is the fault of the parents, and that's why we all are suffering. What do you say about this, Ms. Karishma Satpathy?
I completely agree with you. Completely agree with you. Because by the end of the day, if a potter is sitting with clay, how and what happens to that clay on his wheel is not the responsibility of the pot or the wheel, but the potter itself, which in this case is the parents. It is a responsibility of the parents to mold the human being of tomorrow as a sibling, as a human being. Because even if you are an only child, you still have to go out there and foster relationships into the real world. So, as a parent, you can sit and cry and mourn about the inheritance of your own suffering, or you can seek help and ensure that if you were brought up in an environment of comparison and competition, I don't want to do that to my child consciously or more so subconsciously, driven from a subconscious inherent place of pain. So seek help, go out there. There are coaches, there are psychologists, there are so many people who can help you mold tomorrow's great human beings by fostering collaboration and community beginning in your own home, irrespective of your choice of one child or many children. And I reiterate that sharing is caring, irrespective of the number of people born in your home. You have cousins too. When we talk about siblings, we are talking about the blood siblings, but there are step siblings, there are cousins, there are so many others that belong to us. There are the Rakhi brothers and the sisters that you make. There also the conversation goes into when the rivalry comes in. So yes, it is purely a parent's responsibility to clear their own consciousness of their own wounds while being brought up in that environment. So that is what I would like to bring.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Karishma Chhatrapati. Now my question goes to Ms. Devpriya Uksa. Ms. Devpriya Uksa, why to have sibling for your child? When you have heard all the panelists and they have given their views and they are very, very clear, as Advocate Banga mentioned about the cases starts, give more love to a child, instead of creating a competitor for your child by having a sibling. So it is, as Miss Binda mentioned about, Miss Shine mentioned about the rivalry between two of their sisters. Why? Because what I personally feel that the people, for their own ego satisfaction, they want to be their complete family. They want to project themselves as a complete family, that husband, wife, and two children. That's why they have their second child. Otherwise, one child is enough to have all the loves, affection, without any rivalry. At least the child will be there, so there will be no fight between the siblings for the property or for anything in future. What you say about this, Devpriya Uksa? I am not talking about you. I am talking in general. Why the people are going for the two or more children if they can have one child? So there will be no love and hate relationship among the siblings.
वेरी ट्रू गोयल जी. लेकिन अगर आपने जैसे मुझसे कहा इट्स नॉट फॉर मी, लेकिन इट इज फॉर मी, बिकॉज मैंने दोनों चीजें देखी है. मैंने अपने स्पीच में भी यही कहा था कि मैंने दोनों चीजें देखी है. मैंने अपने भाई को भी देखा है और अपने बेटे को भी देख रही हूँ जिसके पास सिबलिंग नहीं है, जिसके लिए मुझे सिबलिंग बनना पड़ता है. मेरा उसके साथ जो रिलेशनशिप है वो कभी कभी ब्रदर सिस्टर का भी हो जाता है, बिकॉज आई वॉन्ट टू गिव हिम दैट फील कि जब एक बहन जिद करती है तो वो किस लेवल पे जाके जिद करती है, या वो बॉसी होती है तो वो किस लेवल पे जाके बॉसी होती है. निधि ने ये कहा कि डे वन से, जब से बच्चा पैदा होता है तब से वो एक चालू हो जाता है, बिकॉज हमारे यहाँ ये माना जाता है कि अगर बच्चा हुआ है तो पेरेंटल प्रॉपर्टी उसको ही जाएगी. ऋतिका ने भी यही कहा कि बाहर के देशों में ये चीज नहीं है, उनको ये थॉट प्रोसेस ही नहीं दिया जाता. वृंदा खुद इसको फेस कर रही है जब वो 4 साल की थी तब से. लेकिन मैं सबकी व्यू सुनने के बाद सिर्फ एक कहना चाहूंगी, सिबलिंग्स होना बहुत जरूरी है. ये सिर्फ पेरेंट्स की अपब्रिंगिंग पे है. पेरेंट्स को उनको एक प्लेटफॉर्म देना पड़ेगा. मैंने पूरा आपको महाभारत से रामायण से लेके महाभारत तक बताया, जहां पे मेरा अपने बच्चे के पास कोई सिबलिंग नहीं है. रामायण में 4 बच्चे थे. करिश्मा ने अभी ये कहा कि सिबलिंग सिर्फ भाई बहन नहीं होते, कजिन्स भी आपके सिबलिंग्स होते हैं, आप उनसे भी बहुत कुछ सीखते हो. अब हमारी जॉइंट फैमिलीज खत्म हो गई हैं, पहले हुआ करती थी. मेरे पेरेंट्स के भाई बहन बहुत सारे थे, कजिन्स भी बहुत सारे थे. उन्होंने वो सब महसूस किया है, वो ऐसे ही बड़े हो गए, उनके ऊपर कोई स्पेशल केयर नहीं. आज मेरा बेटा बाहर निकलता है, मुझे बहुत चिंता होती है कहाँ जा रहा है, किससे मिल रहा है, किसके साथ जाने वाला है. पहले ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं होता था. पहले वी हैड द ट्रस्ट. चाची भी उसे वैसे पालेगी जैसे उसकी खुद की माँ पाल रही है, उसकी मासी, उसकी बुआ, उसकी बड़ी माँ भी उसको वैसे ही पालेगी. अब वो ट्रस्ट कम हो रहा है बिकॉज वो गैप बढ़ता जा रहा है. सिबलिंग्स होना बहुत जरूरी है. इट्स टाइम फॉर द पेरेंट्स. वो उनमें वो भावना डाल रहे हैं कि तुम उससे अच्छे हो, तुम उससे खराब हो, तुम ये चीज बनो, तुम वो बनो. देखो एक कंपैरिजन. Why that comparison is there? जब तक वो कंपैरिजन नहीं खत्म होगा, वो विश्वास नहीं पैदा होगा. Every individual has their own identity, on their own style of growing. उनके पास कुछ खास है, मेरे पास कुछ खास है, मेरे भाई के पास कुछ खास है. क्यों हम वो दोनों चीजों को कंबाइन करने की कोशिश करते हैं? So the problem is within the parents. चेंजिंग सिनेरियो. अगर मेरा भाई नहीं होता तो आज मैं ऐसी नहीं होती. I would have missed so many things. So it's time for the parents to change. Their mentality should change. हमारे यहाँ कंपैरिजन बहुत हो गया है. फैमिली कंपैरिजन, सोसाइटी कंपैरिजन, अड़ोस पड़ोस का कंपैरिजन. She is doing that. Why aren't you doing? Ritika said she did something else. Her sister is doing something else. सबने different अपनी lines choose करी. And they all are happy. And see, sibling rivalry persists till our age. Once you are married in a different family, you go in the different family, you are in a different world. That time, that love, that caring, वो साथ तब पता चल रहा है. वृंदा को 40 साल के बाद she started missing her sister. And a platform she needed to tell to her sister. And she got a platform today. उसकी बहन आज सुन रही होगी. And definitely she would be missing. कि हाँ मुझे जाकर, and I'm damn sure about it कि अब जाके वो रिलेशनशिप को वापस बाइंड कर पाएंगे. this is what your program is all about, binding people. And we are getting that opportunity. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Devpriya Uksa, for giving your views. Now my question goes to Advocate Nidhi Banga. Advocate Banga, we know that the pendency of cases in India is about 5 crores. And every year, so many cases are filed. And out of all the cases, 66% of all cases are property-related litigations. And out of those cases, 80% are family disputes. They are not some Mr. A is filing against Mr. Y. They are filed by the siblings, father, sons, brother, sister, etc., etc. So why we require siblings, as you rightly said? I again reiterate, because Ms. Uksa said parents, everyone was blaming parents. I'm also a parent. I'm sure all of you are parent now. Children are also blaming parents. They says, हमें आपने पैदा क्यों किया? हमसे पूछ पैदा किया था, हमें आप क्यों लाए इस दुनिया में? This is the question. I had a program recently, and these are the questions which are now being asked by the children. Why? It was your pleasure that you have bought us. We have not asked you to come in on this thing. Now and I'm sure as an advocate, you know, someone has filed a case about this, that the parents have not asked his permission. In India, in Bombay High Court, they have filed a case. So my question to you is, when this is so much problem, again I am saying, although Ms. Uksa says sibling is must, I say no, one should not have any siblings. At least number of cases will come down, pendency will come down, the load on our courts will come down. We will have a more happy society. What you say about this, Advocate Banga?
Sir, I would again go with the view of Ms. Devpriya, that sibling is very important. I also had a sibling. Though in our family, I had a sibling with an age gap of 10 years. My brother is 10 years elder to me. So more than a sibling, he was like a fatherly figure to me. Until date he is. And similar is with my 2 sons. So they also have an age gap of 10 years. And with his sons also, they also have similar age gap. Though they do fight like Tom and Jerry. However, so one thing I think I also mentioned, I missed it to mention, that it is all about love-hate relationship. If I believe, even if there is love-hate relationship, then there would be less cases amongst them, because love-hate means there is some love also. It's not only hate. So love-hate means they can't live without each other. But still, you know, they would, so sibling would be the first person that he would go to share something. But then he would say that isi ne hi meri baat bahar nikali hogi. But fir bhi, again, he or she would be the, like, he would only seek his sister or brother to share the thing. Then they would fight very regularly. Then again, they would feel very protective about their sibling ki inko koi aur kuch na keh raha. I can say anything to my brother or sister, but nobody else should say anything. So that is love and hate. So love is also there. So they would feel very happy when a parent is reprimanding their sibling, but at the same time, they would protect their, but they'll feel bad that they'll sneak them out ki chalo isko abhi daant padi hai to chalo let me take her out somewhere ki, so they feel guilty and bad about their sibling कि इनको कुछ हो गया अपने आप से. They might say anything and everything. They'll highlight their insecurities and their weaknesses on their face. However, they would feel very bad if their sibling is feeling inconfident in public. So they will try everything to raise them up, to raise their confidence, or whatever. So that is love and hate relationship. So love is also there. So when even this thing is developed, and that can happen only when 2 siblings are living in a shared household in one house. I definitely agree with one thing, that now parenting has changed. Now parents are not taken as those innocent parents like in earlier generation they were. Now even parents are quite educated. They have a lot of exposure. Siblings have a lot of exposures from their school, from traveling, from various other things in social media. So now it is the responsibility of parents, and because now there are only majorly two siblings in the house, not more than that. So and so that comparison, competition should reduce, and parents should they should take help of counselors and psychologists how to raise siblings. But it is very, very important to have a sibling at home, so that love thing will also grow.
Okay, thank you very much. But only I will say one thing, what you are saying, but this love is showing 80% of the cases property dispute because of the love.
That can reduce from correct legal advice and legal knowledge. But if a parent has legal knowledge as well, then also these things can reduce. These property disputes may
I understand, Ms. Banga, but you mentioned the earlier the parents were not educated, but there were so many cases. You can check the records. Among the siblings, there were no cases. Among others, it might be, but not now. The ratio is raising every day. Anyway, thank you very much. You have made your point. Now my question goes to Rotarian Ritika Gupta. Rotarian Ritika Gupta, you have raised a very, very pertinent point in your earlier time when you have mentioned about the in India and Eastern country about the property rights which is being to be inherited by the earlier sons and now the sons and daughters. Do you agree with me that this right should be absolved? No one, neither the son nor the daughter should get any right. And I'm sure Advocate Banga will vouch for me that after 2005, the cases have started increasing more because now daughters have also come in the picture.
Exorbitantly increased.
Yes. So if these rights will be withdrawn and the property or the whatsoever things belongs only to the parents, let them enjoy, and after their death, let it go to a charitable organizations, the government, any of the government organizations for the benefit of the society. Then to the son or the daughter, let them be independent like in Western country. What you say about this, Ms. Gupta?
Thank you so much for your question. That's a rather thought-provoking question. I believe that, it is the conditioning of the children that matters here more rather than the blanket rule of whether the property goes to so-and-so person or it goes to charity. It depends on the conditioning of a child. Like if your child has been raised in such a way that, they are given equal opportunities while growing up so that they turn out to be individuals who are good enough, who are doing well enough in their life. Yet again, even when people are doing well enough, they always have that eye that, I will have something extra, which will probably, I don't know, even if take them from one small level to, just maybe half a kilometer ahead of that. I don't know if that makes sense, but still, I believe that, it just depends on the conditioning of the parenting, how a child is reared by the parents, and then it should be left to the choice of the parents. Because I also feel that, I do certain things in my life because I feel that I want to give a more comfortable lifestyle to my child ahead. So it should be left to my choice whether I want to pass on everything to my child, which now is my son. So honestly, my and my husband's driver is how we can make a better lifestyle for our son when he grows up. So that is how we are conditioning ourselves to make a better life for him. How we can do it by improving our lifestyle every day. But again, it should be left to the choice of parents and not like a blanket rule wherein it goes to charity, and then it should be a parent's choice or anyone who holds whatever property he does. And I, now that I'm a mother, can say that in this way. Otherwise I would have clearly said that should go to charity, because I feel that children are bad. But now that I have a son of my own, I feel like what is my driver, what is my motivator to do better and better every single day? It is the fact that, I may be doing something, passing on something better to my child. So it's for that reason. I leave it to the choice of a parent and the conditioning while growing up.
Thank you very much, Rotarian Gupta. You have contradicting your own statement. Earlier, you were saying the West is better than this. There is no cases, no such type of cases going on among the siblings. But in India, and choice is still there. Choice is still there. Advocate Banga can vouch for it. It's with the parents. If they want to will it, they can give to one or two or to everyone or not. Even the law says the equal, but the property which has been earned by the self-earned property can be willed it is only for the inheritance property of the earlier generation that you can not do it. Otherwise,
But I also talk about conditioning. So,
yeah.
I talk about myself and so many others who are not eyeing their parents' property. But
Okay.
there are still a sector everywhere. So it's
Okay.
conditioning while growing.
Okay. Thank you very much, Roten Gupta. Now my question goes to Ms. Shine. Ms. Shine, everybody is blaming about the parenting. You have also mentioned about the relationship between you and your sister. Any other factor apart from parenting? Because no parent, in my opinion, wants to harm their children in any way. They cannot even think in their dreams to harm by, it might be innocently or whatsoever that what you are saying. But I'm sure there is some other factors which also give this hate relationship, love and hate relationship among the siblings. Can you say anything? Can you find anything, or have you experienced? After all, you are an educator, you might be seeing so many students also in your school or college, and where you are seeing how the rivalry is there. What you say about this, Ms. Shine?
It is conduct disorder. It is a psychological issue, which is also another reason for the siblings rivalry. The child as such has a conduct disorder. It could be some kind of depression which the child as such is going through, a rejection, or the child needs some extra attention which the child is not getting. So if it is the older one, the child wants to show that supremacy over the younger one, and that's becoming one reason. And if it is the youngest child has, as a feeling that everyone is dominating, and that child wants the extra attention. So conduct disorder is something which is also paving another way. As said, every parent, like at least 99% of parents do not, there are 1% of parents still exist, which we see. So 99% of parents want their children to be together, but there is the other main reason being the conduct disorder, which is at large now.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Shine. So viewers, we have seen today,
गोयल जी, मैं
Yes.
1 मिनट और समय लूंगी आपका, क्योंकि
Okay.
एक स्टेटमेंट आया था कि हम सब कहीं ना कहीं पेरेंट्स पे ही तोहमत लगा रहे हैं या उनको ही कहीं ना कहीं कटघरे में खड़ा कर रहे हैं. नहीं, हम में से किसी की भी ये मंशा नहीं है, और हम सब पेरेंट्स हैं. हम अपने आप को भी उस कटघरे में नहीं खड़ा करना चाहेंगे. आपने कहा सिबलिंग्स नहीं होने चाहिए, मैं ये नहीं कहती. मैं सिर्फ इतना कहती हूँ, अगर आपने शादी करी है, आपने एक बच्चा पैदा किया है, तो आपको दूसरा भी करना चाहिए. उनको वो फील दिलाना चाहिए, या तो एक भी नहीं,
ओके,
ऐसा रिलेशनशिप रखना चाहिए. बस एक चीज और, जहां रामायण ने उदारता दिखाई थी भाइयों में, वहीं महाभारत ने महत्वाकांक्षा के कारण लड़ाई थी. ये डिफरेंस था. बस इतना कहना चाहता हूं.
Thank you very much. And Ms. Suksa, I will only say nowadays Mahabharata is more prominent as far as this siblings are concerned. Ramayana is good for the temple and everything, Jai Shri Ram, etc., but we follow the Mahabharata. Otherwise, for public sake, we are in Ramayana mode, but for personal life, we are in Mahabharata mode. So thank you very much. So today, viewers, we have seen and you have heard the personal experiences as well as their views, very, very strong views about the sibling love-hate relationship. And one thing is very clear, the siblings, especially in India, are fighting with each other for the piece of property or for the sake of getting more money. But they forget one thing: when they were children, when they were young, how they used to fight and how they used to patch up. Why they can't patch up now? As one of our panelists, although she became emotional, and in turn I also became emotional, because if somebody feels that the siblings can fight forever, it is a very, very wrong concept. When if you recall your childhood, you will feel the happy moments, how you have spent your time with your sister, brother, sisters. And if you take that time again, if you turn the time, go to your childhood, you would like to talk again. And the communication should never be broken. And this is the problem today, as one of the panelists has clearly mentioned, that we have lots of time for everything, but not for the siblings. If you communicate once a month, once a year, but communicate. But if you are not communicating any time, then definitely Advocate Banga will be happy to have more and more cases because this is her profession. But if you want really that our country should be a Vishguru, it can never become Vishguru if we have this type of hate relationship among the siblings. Thank you very much. And today's program has been live telecasted by V4 News, Karu News, V4 Stream, Malnadu TV India, News Gaon se, Samvad Sarokar News, Bharat Post News, Gyan, as well as it was shown live on Facebook and YouTube. And our endeavor to bring to you every day new topic in media conference with Lal Goel tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Tomorrow our topic is, because it's a thought leadership series. So tomorrow our topic is rising inflation and health of economy. As you know, the inflation is increasing every week or every month, and the health of economy we will be discussing. And it's a question answer session with one guest, and my guest is Professor Dr. R.K. Arya. He's Professor International Economics, Manav Rachna International Institute of Research and Studies, Faridabad. So I will be asking questions to him, and he will be answering about the rising inflation and health of economy. Thank you very much, Ms. Karishma Chhatrapati. Thank you very much, Rotarian Devpriya Uksa. Thank you very much, Advocate Nidhi Banga. Thank you very much, Rotarian Ritika Gupta. And thank you very much, Ms. Brinda Shine, for enlightening us, for giving your views from your heart. And I am sure that today's program will bring some changes among the siblings who are fighting. And we hope that number of cases should come down. So at least we can say that this program has served some purpose. And I'm giving my best wishes to Ms. Brinda Shine. And I hope that today you will at least share the link. If you have not shared the earlier one, share this link now to your sister, and definitely her views may change after listening the program. Thank you all the viewers for watching.